Hello. Good morning, beloveds. It's so good to be here with you. And let's hope that this time around that you're able to hear me well and there's not crazy feedback. And yeah, I'm still figuring out this whole process using this new streaming system. So let me know in the comments. It is live, so if there's anything that you want to share, let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and jump in. So we are in a window, a period of time that's known as Lionsgate, and this is usually from about the 26th, 28th of July until the 2nd of, the 12th to the 14th of August. And we find the peak at 8-8 because of that numerological alignment. And the reason that this is felt and thought of to be such a really potent time of the year is because of the astrological alignment. We align with our sun aligns with Orion's belt in Sirius, which is the central sun of our galaxy. And when we look through the metaphorical or the spiritual lens, we see this as a centering with the heart of the galaxy. So if our sun is the heart of our solar system and Sirius is the heart of our galaxy, it would be representative of our spiritual heart. So you can really start to align yourself with the deepest truth of who and what we are. And maybe you've already been experiencing some of the stimulation in your system, in your nervous system, in your body, in your brain, in your processing, and of course in the heart, in being able to feel, even though the feeling may not be that of some of the more lighter experiences. Maybe you're experiencing some of the trauma or emotions that have been suppressed so that you can get to that deeper feeling of love, of acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, understanding, bliss. The way that I generally experience the influx of energy and light, because that's essentially what we're receiving, is that we're aligning with the light and we're receiving more of it. I experience it as headaches. I think that a lot of people do as new information is coming in, and we have the structure of the ego, and then we also have like the spiritual self. There can be this conflict in the brain. Something known as cognitive dissonance, and sometimes that may be experienced as migraines when the soul and the personality are not seeing eye to eye. So you could be experiencing different things in your body right now. You might be experiencing heightened awareness, intuition. The dream space has been so active and lucid, so really pay attention to the patterns there. I just had this epiphany this morning as I woke up, and I was sharing about my dream with my husband, and I realized a pattern that has shown up in my dreams in the last week that has inspired me to continue to contemplate the feeling that I was sensing in the dream. Not only the pattern, the repetition of the triggers that were causing that feeling, but the feeling itself, where might it come from in my waking life or somewhere in my history. So pay attention to your dreams. It's a great time to journal, look into that. And if you are a dreamer, if you are someone who's really interested in that, one of my beloved colleagues, Jane Mayer, and one of her dearly beloved colleagues, Richie Willis, who they both have a lot of work with shamanic shamanic work, shamanic dream space, very masterfully. And I took their course last year. They're offering it again. It's called Dreaming Ourselves Awake. And it's totally a game changer if you're wanting to be more in attunement with what the messages are that are coming through your dream space, and then how you interpret that through the archetypal system. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me know how y'all are feeling. Can you feel the energy moving? What is that? How is that showing up for you? Are you feeling it in your body? Are you feeling it in your brain and your nervous system? The other thing that's been happening for me is like incredible manifestations, just a lot of abundance, a lot of instant manifestation. And I think that is what this time also is about, because as we're empowered by the heart and the spiritual center of our galaxy, we have more access to higher planes and dimensions of information, as well as ultimately manifestation through those connections. So let's see. Let's ask, what is our overall focus right now? Okay, we're getting 2 cards for this one, actually. So this comes from the Sacred Flames deck. Oh, yeah, okay. Become passionate about your desire to become love incarnate through the increase of that fire within your sacred heart. This love has to become your primary goal, your constant motivation, and main reason for being. The second one, be detached from the outcome. Ask for the perfect divine solution and allow the space for a different outcome by adding to your prayer or intention, this or something better, according to the divine will. These are partners. This is the act of becoming love, which that is an active process. We do have to actively seek to find that in the moments where maybe it's not so easy to love. Maybe it's not so easy to forgive. Maybe you don't want to understand. Or maybe you're just busy and it doesn't feel like there's enough space to stop and feel. And then the partner of that, the feminine presence of the surrender of, this is what I seek to generate in my life. This is what I want to manifest and dream into reality. And yet I release the outcome of that, how that would look. I release that back to what is in the highest good of all. And this is the fast track to manifestation. Rather than it being about me, being willing to be about us. Like, this is what I desire and want in my life. And yet let it be in service of the whole. Let this be for the highest good of all. That will instantly align you with the source, and therefore allow you to, you see that? The light just came on. Allow you to create with the divine as intended, which is the ultimate resource and unlimited resource. The other light came on, of the cosmos and creation. I'm just like taking a moment to really absorb and feel the love that's moving, even the little synchronicities like this that help to direct us back to the heart of who and what we are. So where might we need some direction for the mind? So funny with this particular deck of cards, the what is it? The Untethered Soul deck. for months now, we have been working on a lot of the same things. This card. You think the solution to your inner problems is in the world outside. But nobody has ever truly become okay by changing things outside. There's always the next problem. So again, coming back in, not projecting blame, not becoming a victim. Every time that we choose to blame and become a victim, we have disempowered ourselves. We have disengaged and started to project our responsibility. And really, responsibility, this shouldn't be a burden. This is actually an act of love. Responsibility comes from an act of love. And when we are able to do this in loving service, whatever it is, whether it is maybe going out of your way to help someone, or just taking that extra breath to let go of animosity, judgment against yourself, the world, or some situation or person, we can come back and give generously. Not because we're wanting to get something in exchange, not because there's an energy manipulation there, but because we have that deep devotion to becoming love incarnate. So finding the places in your life where, maybe that light hasn't shone. Maybe you still feel separate from that, still feel a victim. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a part of the process that you're moving through, and you can use this energy right now to illuminate. Okay, so the illumination process. Another card that I get so tickled by the patterns that want to continue to present themselves to help us. We've had this card also often from the Oracle deck for the angel cards, which are like our action cards, how we can practically start to work with this energy. The card is vegetarian vegan. Watch what you put in your body. Stay away from the processed foods. Stay away from the sugars. Stay away from the stuff that makes you dense, because the lighter your body is, the easier you're able to integrate this information, these light codes, and start to transform. We're in a place in the human divine journey where we're transfiguring from the more dense 3D, 4D versions of ourself into the higher dimensions, which is a crystalline energy. So looking at your diet, continue to come back. If you've been in this process, and if you've watched these Oracle videos every time that we've come to this card, which has been about 3 times this, just in the last 3 months, this card has shown up. That just keeps reminding us, oh yeah, okay, check back in with my body. Does my body feel heavy? Is there something that's causing me stomach aches or headaches, or maybe just it's the sense of lack of feeling, lack of heart-centeredness, lack of stillness of the mind. The other card is about the ear chakras. So our ears are the ears are about multidimensional hearing. So this means not just hearing the external world and those audible frequencies, but this is about being able to listen internally, because we have to turn back to the solution's not outside of us, it's inside of us. So you may have ear ringing and frequencies that you're noticing coming in, tinnitus. And when we start to turn the ears towards ourselves, how do we become a deep listener and sensitive to ourselves? How do we, listen to, let's say, the first dimension in the body, and the next dimension in the emotional field, the next dimension in the mental body, and then the next one, spiritual, causal body? So how do we refine those skills of listening to really be able to hear? How do you listen to know what it is that you need to eat, what is or isn't working for you? How do you know when you hear truth? So this hearing isn't, necessarily like this audible thing that we associate with the ears. Sometimes hearing is hearing through here. All right. What kind of soul lessons are available for us right now? Okay. Patience. Fear. Health. Could it be any more clear? Actually, it could be. We're going to ask more about the fear card. So our health card, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And just what I'm getting here in this moment is some of the things I've been experiencing myself about what it means to be fully embodied. Like, it's great to do all of this spiritual work and to be really tuned into the cosmos and the astral realms, and it does no good if we can't bring it fully into the body. This place the soul has to inhabit for us to become the conduit between heaven and earth. We manifest heaven on earth. And that was what I was sensing about this particular Lionsgate for many of us, for the star seeds and the crystal children and the indigo children, and many of us who work in service to the divine, who are working to become love incarnate. Our body is the instrument through which we manifest and express that. So if the body is unhealthy, we must tune into our ears, into that multidimensional hearing and listening, to find, where am I not fully in alignment with truth? Where am I still holding a sense of separateness and creating self-destructive habits? So right now, if you can address the body, the spiritual is going to come. I mean, the energy is moving in. I'm getting the image of when we have a really torrential downfall of rain. So like a monsoon. And if your gutters aren't clean, what happens is that it overflows out, and then it can start to cause problems around the home. If the water builds up around the foundation of the home, it can leak into the home. What we want is clear gutters, so that as we're receiving that nourishment, in this case it's the light, that it can flow freely through the conduit. I hope that imagery helps. So, of course, the influx is going to move some of the congestion that may be in the system, but why not help it? Why not consider a fast? I'm not giving medical advice. But you can ask yourself, what's in my highest good? Do I need more water? Do I need more vegetables? Do I need less meat? Do I need less sugar? Do I need more juice? Do I need more fruit? Do I need more time outside? Do I need more exercise? Do I need to sweat? Do I need to take a salt bath? These are just some ways that have worked for me. Do I need to be doing some kind of breathing practice? Breathing, oh my goodness, pranayama. This eliminates 70% of the toxins in our body. Water, hydration, eliminates a huge amount of toxins in our body. Toxins are the leaves and the buildup, the gunk in the gutters. So Do the things that are going to assist your system. You will feel lighter, you will feel better, you will feel more in alignment and in tune with joy, with becoming God incarnate, love incarnate. You will start to feel more of your purpose. And yes, we have all of these unique missions that we come here for. But there is one single purpose that we all have, and that's to awaken to our true nature. That is to love. Jesus said, I didn't come here to teach you. I came here to love you, and love will teach you. I'm probably paraphrasing that, but that just feels so in integrity. And when we think about integrity from the place of even something like an astrological alignment, what is that representing? If that represents the alignment with our spiritual self, our Christed self, that is an integrity. Integrity means to have a solid and aligned structure. Truth. Our next card is patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So don't beat yourself up if you're like really gung-ho on straightening out some part of your life and then you fall back. It's okay. Or maybe it hasn't manifested yet. And maybe something happens that makes it look like, it's going in the wrong direction. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. Love is patient and kind. So this is just another manifestation of the creative force of love. Creative state of love. The being of love. And this fear card, fear is the only thing at its root element that stands in the way. Yes, there are many different flavors that it can present as through the emotions and the mental constructs that are attached to that. The things like resentment and guilt and shame, all of these different things. But once we start to solidify and distill, the root is fear. We have the two polarities in this particular paradigm. We have love and we have fear. And then as we start to oscillate between those is when we get into the different spectrum of emotions and consciousness. So as we're bringing in this really high, potent energy of the spiritual heart, the awakening of who and what we are, it is going to dredge up that same polarity. It's going to match and call forth fear. Anywhere that fear has existed, that has blocked you from love. And if you read the August newsletter I sent out, it talks a little bit about this. Because this is the law of polarity. If we stimulate one thing on the end of the spectrum, it has to call forth the other thing so that eventually these can unify. Because we still exist in the paradigm of duality. We are working on unity. So in order for us to resolve the fear, we have to love it. We have to say, okay, I can see that you're scared, you feel unsafe, you feel unsure, you feel unloved, and I love you. You just love, I love. I love. And so you just allow yourself to tune more into that. Let yourself feel, let yourself have this morning after I was watching the patterns in my dream space and started recognizing where it was coming from, a place in childhood that I thought that I had fully gotten to. It's always a cycle, always a cycle. It's an onion. We go deeper and revolve around it over and over again until it just, there's indifference and love. I guess you can't have both of those. There's indifference, and then there's love. It's as if it never happened, because I'm not going to go into the whole time thing, but the more we can be present and allow that to move. I had these moments where I was just like, I felt tender, I felt raw, I felt like defensive, and also felt like I could cry and burst into tears at any moment, and didn't know exactly why. And that can be a beautiful thing, is like leaving my mind out of it and not needing to know the why, but just giving myself the space to have the feeling and to love. So I want to ask an additional question about this fear card. Tell me more. Okay. The card here is the giveaway, which, if I'm just interpreting off the cuff, it's like when you really get into the sticky places with fear and all of the different emotions that it's associated with, how can you focus on the giving? How can you focus on opening, expanding, and letting go? Let's see what the actual shamanic interpretation is. The giveaway is the gift you offer to life without attachment, without expecting anything back. You can only give what is truly yours: a smile, a nod of encouragement, a gentle touch, and a kind word. This is not giving to others what you no longer want, like the sweater that no longer fits, but gifting that which is most precious: your authentic love and genuine feelings. The way that this is relating in me right now is when maybe you have felt hurt by someone and you may feel a need to express that. How can you do that from a place of genuinely wanting the best for them too? How do you make it non-dual, or make it dual but non-dual, so you consider what is in the highest good for all involved, not just about what you need? But when you just bring that intention into, okay, I recognize I'm really feeling that I need this. I want this also to serve them and their freedom, their liberation. Make a list of 10 people and things for which you are grateful for. So this is just a practice that you could invite in to help resolve any situation, particularly around a person, whether they're present in your life now or not. Connect with the feelings of gratitude. And the giveaway comes to ask you to feel the same gratitude without needing anything or anyone to inspire it, and to share the gratitude with those you meet. So that's a little practice that you can do. I'm also seeing here to look for the gratitude in the situation. Those situations that have inflicted pain, people who have inflicted pain, the heart of forgiveness is in finding gratitude for the lesson, for going bigger than you being a small little person that's been hurt. But taking that bird's eye view of, we both came here to learn something. We came here to learn how to love. Thank you for being a teacher to me. Even if you don't fully see it yet, if you just invite in that spirit of forgiveness and understanding and go, I may not understand right now, but I know that this is to serve the greatest and highest good of all involved. And I thank this person for showing up to do this really hard thing with me. Some of the questions here is it difficult for you to set limits on how much of yourself you give? If you give more than is healthy, then you will not be able to give for long. You'll feel resentful with your partner or associates, or you'll feel like the world owes you something in return. Life's not fair. That situation's not fair, right? Like, we can all relate to that. Notice if you give for any reason other than pure generosity. This is a tricky one, and this is one of those places that it's hard to admit to ourselves. This is where a lot of shadows live, is, am I actually giving because I have no expectation of receiving something in return? We learn at a very young age how to manipulate to get what we want. And I know that sounds maybe a little malicious. It's not. It's just the human condition, that we were born into a world that was perceived to be separate from source, that we were separate, and therefore we lack, and therefore we need, and therefore we must manipulate to get what we need. So it's so old and deep into our generational lines through with other human beings. It's second nature. Because when we're born, when we're hungry, we cry. When we're unhappy, we cry. We develop all of these other control dramas to be able to manipulate the energy because we feel we're disconnected from source. When we're connected with source, we're not wanting because we're not separate. And so this is what this invitation is these places in your life where you've been the victim, where you've been resentful, where, really take time to observe and take inventory on where are you giving from anywhere else other than pure love. Because that which in giving from the soul, from the heart, it fills you up. And when you're filled up with the spirit of love, there's nothing else that you could want, because it is the ultimate. It is what we're all actually trying to achieve, is the feeling of peace and contentment and love. Are you hoping to heal an old wound? Are you trying to be liked or accepted? Start giving to yourself first and foremost. You think the solution to your inner problems is in the outer world, but nobody has ever been okay by changing things outside. There's always the next problem. Offer yourself the care, the love, the time, and the acceptance that you are longing for. Once you experience plenty, then you can truly give to others. So I really see if you can start to feel this opening, this sensation. You may feel it in your solar plexus as well as in the heart and the high heart. As you start to release this control and need for things to be the way that you want them to be, when you start to release your will to open to divine will, the heart will begin to open. When the solar plexus is bound and tight, and this is our center of self and confidence, and also it's the will, it's determination, and it can be very much driven by our ego. It wants to control, and in that control, it starts to overpower the heart and cause it to constrict. So just right now in this moment, maybe placing your right hand over your solar plexus and your left hand over your high heart, and just taking a few breaths there, saying to yourself, I love you. I appreciate all of the challenges in your human experience, and I want to meet you with more compassion and understanding and tenderness. And take some breaths. Let your exhale go through your mouth. see what feelings may start to arise. And if you need to pause the video right here and just take as long as you need to start to access that. Starting to use your ear chakras for the deep listening. This is how we attune to the multidimensional parts of ourself. Bring it into your body. Bring it all the way down through the core of your being. So, coming back into this moment, but maybe keeping your eyes closed. If you can feel your feet on the floor or however you're seated, I'm just going to take you through a quick aligning meditation. Still accessing the solar plexus and the heart. Breathing deeply and consciously in through the nose and out through the mouth. And let's just stay with that type of breathing. But also giving yourself permission to be led. If your body starts to breathe in some other pattern, allow it. Be patient with yourself. But start to feel that grounding sensation, coming all the way through the core of the body, through the spine, feeling yourself drop from the heart into the belly and the base of the spine, letting that flow through the legs and the feet and down into the earth, dropping your roots down, becoming that tree, still as a tree, solid, connected, interwoven, intermingling beneath the earth's crust. Roots going deep and wide, just strong, fibrous root system. And I can start to also feel the throat here. So maybe starting to bring the throat in, feeling the energy traveling from the throat all the way down through those centers, into the earth, to the core of the earth. Maybe you can start to see the earth itself like this crystalline grid that's hooking up to the crystalline core of the earth. And making that conscious union yourself, asking for the earth to support you, to nourish you, to hold you as you move through these different parts of your processes. So that you feel safe as you release, as parts of the self are dying, as stories in the life are dying, and new ones are taking shape. As you face your fears, ask for her to hold you, to give you the space, so that you can feel steady, so you can put your foot down, so you can take the next step. So breathe through that. And then start to draw up. As you inhale, you start to draw up from that crystalline core. And it's like this crystalline river of light, but there's that quality and element of water. Let it move all the way up through your system. And if you've ever seen what the blood vessels, the veins and the arteries look like in the body, imagine that crystalline light coming all the way through, all of that. So just like tree roots in the body, as above, so below, and then start to bring it out through the top of the head, even like a tree. But really feel this particular spot in the center of the brain at the pineal gland as it comes all the way up through the throat. You may need to take a moment at the throat and breathe and bring it up through the brainstem to the center of the brain, to the sun of our solar system. So breathe that connection now. Breathe from sun to pineal gland to heart, heart to pineal gland to sun. And do that for a few cycles. Let your body relax, shoulders relax, jaw relax. You might start feeling the nervous system wanting to tense up. The head may want to start to draw back as this light comes in. Just let yourself consciously relax. Sides of the neck, scalenes, relax, soften, accept. And then from sun to Orion's belt, to those 3 stars, and Sirius. So you can just go straight to Sirius from our sun. You may start to feel that at the crown. As the crown opens, the petals start opening of the 1,000-petal lotus. And Sirius is this beautiful blue star. Aligning yourself with divine will and wisdom. And the way that we do that is we surrender. The ego surrenders. It says, I'm willing. I accept things as they are. I accept myself as I am. Whatever it is, I accept and I let go. I accept my fear. And just allow that transmission of love to start to move all the way through Sirius, sun, crown, pineal gland, and then into the heart. Let it drop into the heart. And there's a vortice that's coming from above as it goes through the heart. And then the energy coming up from the earth, meeting in the heart. These two are in this dance, co-creating, alchemizing, and giving birth to this flame, the sacred heart, the flame of love, that burning passion to be love incarnate. With your next inhale, start to drop all of that energy from Sirius, the sun, crown, pineal gland, throat, high heart, solar plexus, sacral, root, down into the root system, to the earth star, and to the heart of the earth. Now as the bridge between heaven and earth, bringing heaven to earth, manifesting love, bringing it into the collective field. And as you bring it down into the earth, it starts to circulate through the Earth's morphogenetic field, through the Earth's electromagnetic field, this toroidal field, which amplifies and influences the collective consciousness. And then you're also receiving that same energy up through the base of your spine. You may start to feel some activation, some kundalini movement coming up through the centers and then all the way out through the top of the head and around you into your toroidal field. So the circulation that comes out through the top of the head, all the way down, back through the root system, and then back up and through your heart, and then out and down through the feet, back up through the head, around the head, and into the heart. Now, it's not important that you follow that or see that. It's just to give a visualization. Mind, heart, coherence, and you may feel kind of a little wobble as things are coming into coherence. All you have to do is focus on that willingness. And And I'm hearing the prayer of St. Francis coming in. Lord, let me be an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is despair, let me sow hope. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. Where there is sadness, let me bring joy. Where there is loss, let me sow faith. Let me seek notes not so much to be understood as to understand. To be loved as to love. To be forgiven as to forgive. For it is in dying that we receive eternal life. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is through giving that we receive. Lord, let me be an instrument of thy peace. I bow to your will. And so it is. So it shall be. And so I am. Take as much time as you need here to let yourself feel enveloped by grace. Feel centered and loved. And the back, all around you, 360 degrees. I invite you to pause here and just sit and witness. Be present. And then as you're ready, bring yourself back, but maintain that awareness of your connection with Sirius and the sun and the earth and yourself as that vessel. It's a deep gratitude that I offer you this transmission, and thank you all for receiving it. Thanking all of the teachers and the elders, the guides, who bring forth this transmission of truth and love and divine expression. And may you each move through this portal with the focus on patience and love, detachment from outcomes, willingness to forgive, to be tuned in to your body and all of its needs, tuned into your emotions and your mind, and willing to let that love be your ally, to be fearless as those fears come up. Look at why you give. Take inventory. So many blessings to you all. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can check in the description to subscribe to the newsletter so that you can get more of these videos and transmissions, written transmissions. It's a powerful time. And I honor each of you for the light that you carry. Thank you for being my teachers and guides and colleagues. Keep it simple and stay pure. Pura vida.